For those of you who watched our last interview with Michael Horn, you will certainly want to follow up with this one. Michael is the English liaison for the enigmatic and profound works of Billy Meier. In this second part of our conversation, Michael delves into the more controversial and challenging subjects that require an open mind and genuine spirit of inquiry. In the end, one should only accept what feels true in our own hearts. We're going to pick up our conversation with the actual life lessons, so to speak, that have come through to Billy Meier through the decades that we would be wise to start paying attention to now, because we're in dicey times. And everything appears, as it appears now, it looks like it might get dicier before it gets more pleasant again. So, that said, let's talk about, we have to talk about the population on the planet. I know they're really big on that. Mm-hmm. Let's just launch into the notion of the fact that this, according to the Plejarians, planet is overpopulated.
Hugely. Now, they claim that for a planet this size, sustainability and abundance and prosperity would be if the population of the planet was 500 million. So we're going, wait a minute, we almost have that many people in this country, and maybe, put in Canada and what have you. It's a hot issue for a lot of people for various reasons, probably mainly because the religions have used overpopulation, just go forth and multiply, 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 as a means of enriching themselves and their coffers with no regard for the consequences to people who then find themselves with many children who, they're unable to support, etc. We all could reason our way through this if we would reason. The intensity of overpopulation accounts for the majority of problems on the planet, whereas if we were not overpopulated and more reasonable, which would be enhanced and encouraged by our not being on top of each other constantly with this friction and the friction on our world, our society, our environment, we could solve, we could even prevent many problems from arising, because we wouldn't be in this consumption madness, we wouldn't be burning the very synovial fluid of the planet for fuel, darkening our skies, polluting our air, and imbalancing our tectonic plate structure so that the forthcoming mega quakes, volcanic eruptions, and, as Meier puts it, disappearance of whole parts of continents and sinking of islands would have been avoided. But we, in our know-it-allism, decide that we will wrench the last drop of anything out of the planet and ignore logic and reason. Now, people who say, see, they want to kill everybody off, they misunderstand. There's no prescription here for killing people off. We're doing that to ourselves.
But the reason I debated whether to bring that up now or later, because this gets into some really complex stuff. You start looking at a lot of other evidence that exists. You start looking at more in the conspiratorial, I don't like that word, but on the other side. Mm-hmm. On the other side, where you're looking at doctrines toward world depopulation that have surfaced. You're talking about some well-known players that have been involved in this and continue to be. It's said that the reason that they're targeting that 500 million number is because of what the Plejarians have said.
No,
I don't think that's true, because it came before that.
Yep.
But nevertheless, you're talking about some rather nefarious plans for reducing the population of the planet that do exist.
Or allegedly exist.
Allegedly exist.
Now let's use an idea here, because people sometimes mix a lot of things together. Let's remember that Hitler was a vegetarian.